We're also joined on the phone line by K.K. Venugopal, Attorney General of India, and we're also joined in the studio by our Managing Editor, Menika Doshi.
Thank you very much, Ayush. I think the first question I'd like to put to Mr. Venugopal, after thanking him for joining us this evening, which is what I imagine the conclusion to a very tumultuous day. Mr. Venugopal, what are we to make of the events of the day as ordinary citizens and journalists? Are we to appreciate that, the opacity of the Supreme Court today has been cracked, that transparency has been brought in because judges are now finally, or the nation has a glimpse into the goings-on of the Supreme Court? Or are we to worry that there is this big shadow of doubt that has been cast upon this most important institution?
I don't think that there is a crisis. I don't think one should elevate this to a level where one would affect the confidence that the litigant public has in this institution, for the simple reason that it would have been far more appropriate, according to me, if the judges had placed all these matters before the full court. And the full court today would be about 26 judges or so, because 4 or 5 judges are is vacant. There are vacancies. Now, if that was done, the whole thing would have been done quietly, resolved by a majority, and that would have been the end of the matter. Now, the television channels are examining each little thing with great intensity, and all this is going to affect the litigant public's confidence in this institution. And therefore, I think that because the judges are persons who are statesmen and persons of wisdom and experience, I have no doubt that they will try to put the institution above everything else. And they will patch up, they will settle the whole thing, and within the next 2 days, everything will be settled. Okay?
Well, sir, but I can only assume, Mr. Venugopal, please do allow me to put in a quick question.
Only one more question.
All right, only one more question. I can only assume that the 4 judges who did go public to air their grievances today, the 4 senior-most judges of the Supreme Court after the Chief Justice, one of whom could potentially be next in line for the next Chief Justice, all 4 members of the collegium would have only taken as extreme an action as this if their backs were against the wall, if other efforts had failed. Therefore, I ask that whatever you have outlined as the best way to have resolved this situation, probably that was no longer an option in front of them. What happens now?
But then they should very well have explained as to why they are not following the normal procedure of asking for a full court meeting and placing these matters and then having a majority decision. Now, how can 4 decide all this and place it in the public domain when there are another 20 judges or so? Therefore, all that I say is these are all persons of great integrity, all these 4 judges. They are persons who are very well-meaning, but I still feel that they could have opted or adopted an alternative, and the alternative is what I have said.